Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow, Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Hey man, it's Malik Scott to blame for Deontay Wilder. You had people like Anthony Durrell saying that Wilder is not a boxer. Stop teaching him how to box. Let him go out there and do what he do best and knock people out. A lot of people blame for what he did to Mark Breland. I still didn't like that. Kind of put smudge on his name, whatever. A lot of the pro-black people that got something against the local WBOX community pointed out that he fired Mark Breland but kept Jay Diaz. And what did Jay Diaz know? He ain't nothing but a former judge and all this type of stuff. So, my thing is this. Y'all be expecting fighters to change trainers and the trainers gonna make a huge difference. Virgil Hunter and Freddie Roach went through this, and it looked like Freddie Roach, made Amir Khan one of the best fighters in the world or whatever. A lot of times the best remedy to cover up, especially not even amateur boxer, you can still teach him some things, right? Because he still got to make that maturation process to the pros. With a pro fighter, especially in the middle of their career, when they've been doing something for so long, boxing is a sport of repetition, right? So when they've been doing something for so long, bro, it's hard to break bad habits. You know what I'm saying? And what difference was Malik Scott going to make in Deontay Wilder? Now, at his peak, he outboxed Bermane Stiverne for 12 rounds. He looked good doing it. That was peak boxing Deontay Wilder. He used the jab. He looked fantastic. It's like once he did that, he just figured out my right hand can knock everybody out. And he fell in love with that and didn't continue to build on his boxing ability. So once he made up his mind that his right hand was the equalizer, it was going to continue to bail him out. It was going to come a time where it wasn't going to bail him out no more. Either it was going to come versus the right opponent, which was Tyson Fury, or Father Time was going to catch up with him versus Joseph Parker. Now, Malik Scott said Father Time is undefeated and this, that, and the third. And that's true. But at the same time, inactivity also plus Father Time equals, out your prime faster. So I can't blame Malik Scott for anything different. He ain't been around long enough. They ain't had enough fights to do anything different. You seen in the third Fury fight, he had him kind of going to the body and then bringing it upstairs, and that went out the window. You got a soldier who just does what he want to do. That's just what it is. He got in his mind that I can do what I want to do, and his right hand gonna bail me out. It's hard to change that mindset. So it wasn't nothing that Malik was gonna do. Y'all can say, well, Malik kept saying be patient and try to turn him into a boxer and try to give him some skills and all that. You want to blame Malik for trying to do his damn job, so be it. But no, I don't blame Malik Scott. I blame the inactivity. I blame the business of boxing, Al Heyman. You know what I'm saying? You can blame Andy Ruiz. Because him and Andy Ruiz could have been fought. They supposed to fight back in in May and July. And, it didn't happen. So you sitting around waiting for an opponent and it didn't happen now because he had took a lesser opponent. And I blame the business of boxing. A lot of these dudes ain't moving unless it's for a certain price point. A lot of these dudes ain't moving unless it's for a certain price point. Wilder probably ain't moving unless it's at least 20 M's. So the greed, the business of boxing, a lot of these dudes ain't saying, well, let me take less money and just stay active. Because then you take less money, then everybody gonna think that's your price. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna think that's your price once you take less money. So, you don't never want to dip below your price point. But then again, the bad thing about it is you ain't staying active. Your activity sucks. And as the ones that need the most activity is the younger fighters and the older fighters. Those are the ones who need the activity. Younger to build repetition as a pro. The pro game is different than the amateur game. We have some guys with amateur styles that have success. But if you're going to be dominant, in this game, you got to have a professional style. And we didn't have, and the older you get, the more active you got to have. Roger was preaching that to Floyd Mayweather Jr. He was preaching that. He was preaching that to Floyd Mayweather Jr. He was saying, man, you got to fight more than once a year, once in a while. He said, well, Raj, you take 6 months to build a pay-per-view, and, you got to stay active. It's like what they tell the old people. If you don't use it, you lose it. This is why you got some old people still, doing marathons into their 80s and 90s, because they constantly staying active. They constantly working at it. This is why you got some swole, chiseled old dudes, because they never stop. And Deontay Wilder needed reps. He 30-something years, he almost 40. Why are you taking a year off? Really 2 years off, because Hellenius fight, nobody count that. That fight went on for like a New York minute. So nah, man, it's the business of boxing that hurt Deontay Wilder. It's the greed that hurt Deontay Wilder. It's the arrogance that come with his stature in boxing. You ever notice, like, when you watch Dragon Ball Z, when Goku turned to Super Saiyan, he become more arrogant. When he fused with Vegeta, he becomes way more arrogant. Way more arrogant. It's kind of like that. You get the belt, you start getting millions, you start getting attention, that comes with fame. That comes with status. That comes with stature. That's why Future said, I only hope that I can remain humble. That's what comes with the game. Remember Tommy Buns on Belly? He thought he was untouchable. That's real shit. All these people, these powerful men in Hollywood that's getting exposed. They thought they'd never get touched. They thought they'd never, had to face the law. What did Jay-Z say? He said, I'm somewhere eating quail. I probably never see jail. Puff probably thought that shit. Sometimes you get so much power, you think you above the law. And Deontay Wilder wasn't above the boxing law. He was the exception for a long time, but then when you start playing with the boxing law as far as activity, you know what I'm saying? All that hurt. The activity in the business of boxing killed him the most. Because the business of boxing kept him out the ring. It probably kept him from taking less money, right? To stay in the ring. And also, Al Heyman's not having the dates. And, they was overpaying all these guys, including Deontay Wilder, to keep them happy, to keep them here, to keep them with PBC. And ultimately, it was a detriment. Boxing need to pay like you weigh. Pay what you bring in. But no one don't blame Malik Scott. Not one bit. He came in and did what he tried to do, tried to teach him some things, but he was the old dog, was too old, too inactive. There's one thing, we can work on the past, we can work on the bag, we can work on it in sparring, but you gotta have fights. That's why you get a new coach. You need to be fighting 3 or 4 times a year to drill that stuff, especially the older years. A young guy can catch on to it because he's still molding. The clay is still moldable. It ain't hardened up yet. These old dogs are hard. People expected Virgil Hunter to do something different with Amir Khan and Andre Berto and all that, man. It wasn't no drastic difference coming to guys, in their late 20s and early 30s, man. It's too late. Only guy I really seen that really morphed like that was Marcos Maidana. But Marcos Maidana was so raw, he was just getting by off of natural talent. Maidana was so raw, he was just getting by off of natural ability, off of natural grit and toughness. And when Robert Garcia gave him a few skills, he became a way better fighter. And imagine if he had Robert Garcia from the beginning, what type of fighter Marcos Maidana would have been. That's the one time I really seen a new trainer make a huge difference that I can think of in the modern day. Want to say Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, and he helped Pacquiao develop a better right hand? Fine. I'll give you that. You know? But it ain't too many. It ain't too many. You know, this ain't Rocky 3 where you can change his whole style, put a flat-footed fighter on his toes, and no. The game don't work that way. It don't work that way. So, this is my opinion on it, man. But hey, I know it's not Malik Scott's fault. I don't believe it to be so. You know, when Wilder inactivity kicked in, when the arrogance kicked in, when the success kicked in, when he fell in love with the right hand, when the inactivity, the boxing business kicked in, all that had to do with it. He wanted to stop listening to Mark Breland, didn't want to run miles, start doing what he wanted to do and run his own camp. That's the results you're going to get when all those ingredients mix together. So, hey, check out the Heavyweight Boxing Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, the subscribe button, hit the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good313, Venmo, CJ Good313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all 9. Appreciate your love and support. Peace.